Adam Yakuda here with an all-out blitz Week 5 preview of some guys you should be looking to trade for in your league, as well as some guys to start and sit as we get ready for Week 5 in the NFL tomorrow night as the Colts battle the Patriots. Let's dive right in with some guys to target. First on that list, you got to go looking for Julian Edelman and a guy like Nyheim Hines of the Colts. But let's go back to Edelman. First game back since the Super Bowl a few years ago, immediately becomes Brady's go-to guy. The guy's a PPR monster, and he steps right in as a wide receiver 2 in all formats. 6 to 7 catches a game, 60 to 70 yards, and hopefully a score is Edelman's usual productivity. I would go with him every single week moving forward. He's rested and ready to perform and prove everyone wrong. Then there's Hines, who caught 2 touchdowns from last week from Andrew Luck, and if the Colts defense is as bad as they seem, he's going to be in there most passing downs and get tons of value in PPR leagues where he'll catch 4 to 5 passes out of the backfield. He did it at NC State. Expect him to do the same here with the Colts. And then there's Winston, and if you speak of bad defenses, you got to include the Bucs. So in leagues where you play 2 quarterbacks or need a good streaming option, Winston's not a bad choice. They're going to be playing from behind a lot. He's got good weapons. So for me, Winston's a great pickup right now as someone that you could play as your backup quarterback, or in the right game matchup, you could certainly use him and expect some big production. In terms of guys that you could look to trade this week, include Mark Ingram, Adrian Peterson, and Demaryius Thomas on that list. Speaking of Ingram, he returns this week from his suspension, and we just do not know how he's going to come back into the fold with Alvin Kamara breaking out even more than he did last year. Also, Ingram's value is never going to be higher than it is right now, as people are desperate for running backs, so you could look to improve your roster in other places if you deal Ingram. Then there's Peterson, who's had a great start to the season. But again, when are the wheels going to fall off for this older running back? To me, you sell high, look for value elsewhere, and enjoy the fact that you got some good performances from Peterson. And then there's Jared Cook, and with all the injuries to tight ends around the league, Cook, if you can afford to, is a great trade piece. Because of the injuries to Evan Ingram, Delaney Walker, and Greg Olsen, Cook is a valuable tight end. 2 touchdowns last week against the Browns, and you could certainly deal him somewhere where a tight end is needed and get value at quarterback, running back, maybe even a defense if your defense is struggling. Then there are guys that we want us to look at to start this week, and leading that list is James Conner of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And yes, Le'Veon Bell is coming back in a few weeks, but to me this is a dream matchup for Conner to get his value back on track. The Falcons have been crushed by solid running backs the last few weeks. Think of what Gio Bernard and Alvin Kamara did. And Conner, I think, has a huge opportunity here for a 100-yard game and a few scores. So to me, Conner's a great play this week. Then you got Corey Davis, the talented receiver for the Titans. He broke out this year, last week, in the upset win against the Eagles. He's got a very solid matchup this week against the Bills, and with Marcus Mariota looking a little bit healthy, I would certainly roll with Davis this week in all formats. And then you got guys that you want to bench this week. Russell Wilson's on that list. You have Tyreek Hill, and this guy, T.Y. Hilton. The fact is, he's not 100% healthy. They have a short week against the Pats, and he's not a sure thing to play. So to me, if you have safer options, certainly check the injury report, but you got to stay away from T.Y. Hilton this week. And as much as we like Tyreek Hill, the Jaguars defense will figure out a way to slow him down. He's not a target monster like some of the other weapons on that Kansas City team, despite the fact that he got a bunch on Monday night in their win against the Broncos. To me, it's too much of a boom or bust play. If you have Hill in a yearly league, sure, roll him out there as a wide receiver 3, but don't expect big things. And definitely, I would not use him in DFS, where there are certainly safer options out there. Catch more analysis throughout the week on the Fantasy Forum. And also check us out Sunday morning, the All Out Blitz Show, 11:45 right until kickoff, where we answer all of your questions, give you some trade analysis, some stock up guys, some stock down guys, and for more throughout the week, as I mentioned, check us out on the Fantasy Forum. We'll catch you during the week.